Welcome to episode 290 of the Bear Trap on the Boomer Bust channel. I'm your host, Terry, and today we're doing a film session looking at David Montgomery and our run game versus the Minnesota Vikings. Now, this is more in line of what I think of with a good run game. A few times in the past few weeks and whatnot, we've had Montgomery with some big runs, or not even him, just sometimes you have games where there's some big runs or one big run, and so the stat line is skewed. But again, as I said, it doesn't actually affect the game like a typical run game does, because that's more of a one drive thing. But this was more in line with what we think of a powerful rushing performance, and that is, 100 plus yards, 32 carries, that's a lot. So that controls more than, that's not just getting yards, but that's also controlling tempo. That's also controlling the clock. That changes and affects the game a lot more, and something we've rarely seen from the Bears, not only being effective, but actually continuing to run the ball. And obviously, this is the Vikings, not a great run defense, and they route Eric Kendricks, their best linebacker, but still. So anyway, it's a lot of runs. I don't know if we're going to get through them all. We'll see. It'll probably get repetitive after a little bit, but we'll try to get through a good amount. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and get this started. Looks like the first play is 2nd and 3. Very early in the first quarter. So we do a jet and then split zone, which we typically run really just the two plays. But you have Jimmy here as well, which kind of helps having him on the edge. That's like an extra blocker. We don't get a lot of yards, so let's just go through and see what happens. So backside, Leno should be coming up here. There should be a combo up to the Mike. The Mike takes himself out of it at the last second, so Mustapher's there. All right, so that looks like Harris, 41, the safety. I'll go back one more time. So he is in the box. You have 8 in the box. So at this point, you got more than you can block. Now they shift down, and that's kind of where the problem is. I mean, really, nobody's fault, because again, this linebacker shifts over because of the jet, which again I don't get, because this was like the first game I remember us even doing anything with the jet as far as a handoff. But anyway, so he shifts over. So now this combo is coming to this linebacker who's coming this way or whatever. That's fine. These two are occupied, so they can't combo to anybody. So Harris is left open. Now, technically, Jimmy Graham could get him, but I mean, I wouldn't say technically he could, but Harris goes inside instead of coming to the outside. And so my guess would be, since Harris knifes inside of here, Montgomery should have bubbled it out. But we'll see. And yes, Montgomery should have, but Bars was getting beat, and that kind of that threw off the level. And so he ended up cutting it back inside, but it was just 8 people in the box. It's too many to block. And again, Bars has not been great. And I pointed this out last week. I like when we do this. So this is the inside zone, except we block backside. I don't know if they tag it or what, but instead of everybody zoning, Fetty stays and blocks the backside in. And so now it's just play side. But what that does is open up a huge gap. And so it's hard for anybody to attack downhill because that gap is so wide. Now, also, we're just in a good spot. And I really like this because then it just, I don't know, it puts that defender in a real tough spot. But anyway, you're going to zone here, combo to here, and as long as Bars takes care of his man, I mean, that's wide open. Because that backside linebacker has to make a decision. And truly, now I think about it, and this is something I've talked about before, I'm always a fan of pass blocking on the backside of a run. Because if this tackle goes up, that linebacker could beat him to the spot. But that does create a cutback, but then you got an unblocked person. But now he's blocked, and now you just put him in a bind. Now he needs to decide, is he going to flow downhill or is he going to cover the backside, the cutback? And it's just, I mean, it's a good play. Obviously, I don't watch every team, so other teams might be doing it, but we've done it a couple times, and I really like it. And as I've said, I'm a fan of pass setting on the backside of runs. I've always have been. All right, so this is 1st and 10. Looks like we do another version of split zone, but Montgomery ends up bouncing it. So this is split zone with an extra blocker, and really he's got nobody backside the block. But then he ends up getting the linebacker. Terrible angle. Holtz is not a good blocker. I'm going to just say that, by the way. I know everybody talks so much about him. And remember that phase when everybody's like, I formation. Everything in the I formation is great. That's when you're desperate because that's the only thing you've seen work. But anyway, he's not a great blocker. And so this is the same case. It's too many people to block. I already see by how it's set up. All right, so now we got 7 on the line. And then, well, with a tight end, we should be able to block this. Let me back it up so we can see how it's supposed to look. All right, we got 2 tight ends, so play side in. This should be a check to, yeah, you're going to have an unblocked person. Which is why the split zone doesn't make any sense because, again, you're going to have an unblocked person because Leno's going to come here. You're going to check towards this guy, and then they're supposed to double towards this guy, when in reality it's more of a double towards that guy and a double towards that guy, leaving the play side linebacker unblocked. And then the backside end, you have a tight end already there to block him, and then the split comes. Now this is a bad setup because the way it should go is this double should come to this play side linebacker, which is a hard thing to get. This double should get to this linebacker, which is hard. And Komet should leave the end and go up to the linebacker. And Holt should come backside. And all those 3 blocks are really hard. But Komet stays on the end. And that gives Holtz no one to block until the linebacker comes back down. And then Montgomery bounced it. So, I mean, good job by Montgomery, but that was a bad setup from the beginning. This is 1st and 10. We are in the first quarter, towards the end, tied up. It's kind of like a bunch trips to the left. Interesting, yeah. That didn't go anywhere, but interesting. We usually do split on that and bring the tight end backside, but we went play side with that. Yeah, this is much more of a stretch outside zone type of play where everybody's just trying to move to the edge and you're looking for a crease. And Bars gets beat. I keep telling y'all, I still see some people talking about Bars. He's not been looking great. I mean, I don't expect him to be a world beater, but he's just not been looking great. And you can see he gets beat to the point of attack. Now, had Bars handled his block, there would have probably been a little bit of a crease, but they do a good job on the edge. And I think the edge, if that receiver would have held this block, it probably could have worked. But when you're doing those stretches, any type of penetration really ruins it. All right, 10-7 is 2nd and 1. At least that's what I thought I saw. Looks like a little bit of that stretch again. And then a cutback by Montgomery. Yeah. And the play side was actually blocked really well. But this is, I mean, let me go way back. Yeah, 2nd and 1. So you just need 1 yard. But the play side is actually blocked really well. But typical to what we've seen from Montgomery. Likes to cut it back into the defense for whatever reason. We got a good hat here. They peel off pretty well. I mean, you could have got to the outside on that, but again, it was just 1 yard. And this is new. We haven't really done the outside perimeter run too much. We've done it a couple times, but not too much. But obviously they're trying to do that to complement and add to their play action game. And that was a natural cutback lane. So let's see what happened. On a motion, Jimmy. And then motion here. Oh, there's another tight end here. So that makes sense. And it's just our split zone. So let me go back. I didn't see Komet there first. But either way, we got 7 in this box. So these two should be going, or really he should go to the end. But there's somebody on his outside presence. So it should be 2, 1, 2. And then leave the end, go backside. And actually go 2, 2. I mean, that works too. But it's really good blocks, actually. And the backside end just went upfield. And that's why you do split zone. So you can hopefully get the backside to come upfield and create a big gap. Which is kind of what happened there. But most teams are disciplined in the league. All right, 1st and 10, short gain there. Now that I don't get. I mean, they end up making a play, but I don't get that. But they bumped the other linebacker out, and I've never seen so much 3 linebacker sets. They bump him out and then shoot him off the edge. I mean, I don't know why he went that far. He should have came up to the line. But anyway, I mean, I gotta say that's on Montgomery again. Let me go back, but it looks like there's a battle with this D lineman, but eventually they start getting movement towards this linebacker. And again, if you follow the path of where this is supposed to go, the linebacker's there, but you can get behind your lineman and just kind of ride that double team wave. I'm not saying it would have been a lot, but either way, Montgomery chooses not to, which causes him to cut back. That looked early. Whitehair gets a good block. Leno does not. And backside cleans it up. Second and 10, we're up 3. Second quarter. Another zone. And again, it should hit here. That's just a good job by 93. For whatever reason, I can't see well enough, but Whitehair did not come off of that double team. And he should have, because who is this? Mustapher's like right behind him, so that means he's in position to overtake the block. So Whitehair should have got off of that block. I don't know if 93 held him or what. Bars up to second level. I mean, this blocked pretty well. Good movement, which gets him a couple yards. Just that one piece that really would have sprung. So 1st and 6. Out of the shotgun now. Another inside zone. What'd they do with Komet? Looked like he ran a route. Which is interesting, I guess. They should run more read options. Honestly, the run stuff they've done with Trubisky, I don't like. Like, now, if you run more read option, this would actually be more of a look. I mean, Harrison Smith was there, but still, no team's really going to worry about it too much. I kind of missed that one. 3rd and 1. But the backside end was unblocked, was my point, and he made the tackle on that. But all right, so 3rd and 1. This looks more like a straight dive, but I could be wrong. Let's see. Wasn't a whole lot of movement. Yeah, this is a dive. They just straight double teamed. Which, again, I just don't get why we don't do more of. I mean, this line is much more power than any. I mean, you got a Fetty, Bars, Musfer. Like, this is power, not really so much Leno. But the other team lineup was much more quick and agile for zone. This is much more of a power team. So you get a Fetty and Bars, you get Mustapher and Whitehair doing some double teams. And that's what Montgomery's good at. He's good at going downhill, straight forward, picking the hole. And he dances and whatnot. He finds the hole. But like zone, again, that's more of a feel. That's a rhythm thing. And I wouldn't say we've been great at it. So short gain there. Another inside zone. No tight end this time. 6-man box. And two things. Leno nowhere near makes a block. And then Montgomery again cuts it back. So now we got to look at play side. I mean, they are getting stuck on, who is this, Steven, it says. But you could ride that. Montgomery has no chill. Like, you could ride that double team and be patient and wait for it to, because the linebacker's going to suck himself up into that block. Then you can hit it. But Montgomery cuts back instead, like usual. So short gain. I think it was 1st and 10. Yeah, it looks like 1st 10. Pretty good run here. Got 2 tight ends. Oh my God, yeah, that outside was wide open. This is a pretty good seal block. All right, let's get to the end zone view. Just going with that stretch again. Now, Komet should have worked his way up to this linebacker. That would have been perfect. That linebacker kind of took himself out of the play. But they were outflanked here for whatever reason. Well, they got two people in the A gap. I don't know. I don't like this. But either way, they were outflanked. Yeah, if Komet would have just ran that. But everybody does their job. I mean, you get a nice little edge for Montgomery to turn the corner and get one-on-one with the safety. But again, had Komet just sealed that a little better on the linebacker, it would have been a true one-on-one. All right, 1st and 10. We are up 20-10 in second quarter towards the end. I mean, this really doesn't matter. This ends the half. All right, so now in the third quarter, 2nd and 6. 2 tight ends, ace look. Couple yards. Let's see what we try to run. And I don't know what this is. I don't know what. The play, like half the line did a stretch. The other half from Cody Whitehair back, I don't know what they did. It looked like they went 2 different ways. And this isn't the first time I've seen this. I mean, Cody steps that way. Okay, that wasn't the line's fault. That's Cody Whitehair, which I don't get, which makes me think this is an inside zone. But either way, you take a step. He's not to your inside. To your inside is this linebacker. So you take a step and you go up. He turns and just stops everything, and that holds everybody up. Like Whitehair, go up to the linebacker, and this would have probably hit for a really nice gain. So I don't know what was up with that. All right, 1st and 10. Third quarter, still up 10. Jet do a split zone. Good yards after contact by Montgomery. Yeah, I mean that wasn't too bad. Like Montgomery figured it out eventually as far as where he needed to go. But the bars block on 93 is making it hard for him to read this. Because he wants to cut back, but it's a lot of trash and it's good blocks by everybody else. But again, I like that instead of just immediately cutting back whatever, he rolled the wave and waited for the crease to open. And that's what he has to get much better at, and we would be even more effective in the run game. 2nd and 3, we're up 3. That's a first down there. Looks like a straight dive. Ace, we got Holton. That was not a straight dive. Now this is a little different. And this is where I'm not super familiar with how people name things, because the blocking scheme is the same as a split zone, but the handoff point is different. And technically, it still should go to the same place. But you see a little bit of a natural crease on the backside. Let's take a look at that a little slowly. They got a lot of people. I mean, it was okay. And honestly, Montgomery could have rolled the play side once again, same thing I've been saying. Because they were climbing up to this next level. He could have easily rolled this. But Whitehair does a good job getting backside. Leno does a good job washing that person down. Holtz doesn't do a great job on the backside block, but it was a short yard to gain. So 2nd and 10 out of the shotgun. Now they run the same thing they did earlier. Did not work this time, but looks like a corner or somebody. I'm not sure who that was. And now the linebackers bumped all the way out. So really this should work beautifully. I don't know if the corner, let me see. It has to be the nickel. I guess the nickel, or no, he was on a blitz because there's no way he reacted that fast. He was on a blitz. So good call by the defense, but I'm not sure what happened with this double team. This should have been double right to the backer. He probably went back because the nickel was blitzing. Yeah, he went backside. Well, that's a good call by the defense because now they can't double team to the linebacker because he's behind the zone. And so that would tell you to go straight, but then somebody's blitzing right in that hole. Now, Whitehair should have been able to pick that up, but either way, it was going to be tough. Good call. And these are the things. This is the chess match. So 2nd and 7, we're up 3 still. Let's see. Do our split zone. What's nice about that is with Mooney, you get an extra blocker. Not that he did anything, but when you do that motion as well. So, I mean, everybody's pretty good. Everybody does their job for the most part, and Montgomery sees the cutback. It's a natural cutback. You see they got this overload to this side. This B gap is closed, so the cutback is there. Just follow the butts and get upfield. That's how it's supposed to look. Good game. All right, 1st and 10. Towards the end of the 3rd. We got 2 tight ends to one side, and we run this zone stretch. All right, so let's see here. I mean, that's just a good job. What happens is everybody, the linebacker flow, and I mean, this is just like any zone, what's supposed to happen. You're supposed to make them decide. So we're going to block this edge. We got 2 tight ends. But this linebacker now has to decide, is he going to fill to the outside or is he going to stay backside? He tries to fill to the outside. They do a good job. So then the cutback opens up and he's now part of the wash. Then they just kind of effed all that up. And then Montgomery did a good job. And you see the runs when he actually has a big run are the ones where he actually fills the blocks. Well, I don't know if you felt it, but the ones where he actually makes the right decision. And so it might just be obvious because everybody was on the outside, and so he had naturally went back inside. But those are the runs when we do really well. All right, and here's the zone stretch with the opposite with the opposite result. And so the exact same setup except the motion, but this is the exact same setup as when we just scored. So again, are you going to fill inside or stay backside? And this, I promise you I didn't know this was coming, but this is a perfect setup to what I was just saying, because you have to be able to read this. All right, so he's putting himself backside. So now we're looking at this guy. Now, again, are you going to fill it? Pause. Are you going to fill it to the outside, or are you going to play backside? So he plays backside. So now they can't wash him because he's got the leverage. As the back, you need to understand where the zone is going. So if he's filling here, that means there's one less person on the edge. You got 1-for-1 with Jimmy. You got these two. You got bars, and then these two could work there, or you get a 1-on-1 with the safety. So now you have to keep going and run and make this a perimeter play. He cuts back just back where he did the last time, thinking it's like, oh, okay. And there's a linebacker sitting there. You can't make this stuff up. This is why I haven't gotten a lot of pushback on Montgomery because there's just so much tape. But again, I get pushback on things, and I'm like, dude, the tape, I'm just watching the tape. It's what is happening. All right, so end of the third, 1st and 10. We do a split zone, minimal game. Harris with a hit. It was a cutback, so let's see. Try to catch them off. I've never seen a team play with so much 3 linebackers. It's not this play, but you usually see nickel all the time. So yeah, Montgomery. I'm gonna go through this again, but looks like a premature cutback. So, all right, at this point. And then the line is messed up because they did this last time. The way they're lined up, you're not going to get this double team. So I said this last week. Let me go back. The way they're lined up, Mustipher should be comboing with bars. He's in a 3-tech. First of all, you shouldn't be running to a closed B gap, but whatever. And this is why. Because now he has to go 1-on-1. He has to go 1-on-1. You should be comboing here to the backside linebacker. There's really nobody for this linebacker here. But instead, they try to go. Mustipher tries to step all the way down to the 3-tech and then to the linebacker. It's not going to work. And if you are going to step down and combo, well, really, I take that back. You should be comboing here. So at this point, if you're going to step down, don't step to the D lineman, step straight to the linebacker. Go straight to the linebacker because he's 1-on-1, he's 1-on-1. That's the only way you could block that. Instead, Mustipher stays with the defensive tackle, and the linebacker just waits on the backside, which to me means you could have just kept going play side, but Whitehair didn't really get full control of that block, nor did Bars. And so it would have been tough. But yeah, they were messed up from the start. Which it confuses me. Again, you can run to a closed B gap, but you got to have the blocks. They got to know what they're doing, and it's the NFL. I just like, how do you run to a closed B gap, or how do you not audible that? And so again, Montgomery cuts it back, gets a pretty good gain, but they got their 3 linebackers. Out of an ace formation, we're doing this stretch. And I mean, okay, let me go back because I'm just looking at the edge and it's wide open. But we got some penetration. So that's on Mustapher's guy. He could have kept going. Montgomery, you gotta believe you fast enough to beat this defensive lineman. I gotta believe you fast enough. So right here, you got this nice hole because Jimmy's going to be able to seal this edge here, which leaves you one-on-one with Harrison Smith. Not great, but hey, I mean, that is great to be one-on-one with a safety, but Harrison Smith. So now you're getting some knockback, you're getting some penetration by this D tackle. I gotta believe you are fast enough to get around this corner and go where this play is supposed to go. Instead, he cuts it back, which, you get some yards, but that's not what you want to see. So we're in the fourth quarter up 7. We're going to see a couple in the fourth. This has been pretty long already. All right, so they motion, do the split zone. Interesting. Let's see it up close, but it looks like he stayed with the path when he should have actually cut back this. So we got an extra blocker to that side. And again, I just think we blocking this incorrectly. So here's part of the problem. Again, this doesn't make sense to me. To me, you gotta go one-on-one with the tight end. Then you got a combo to this linebacker. So if he goes hard to the play side, Ifedi should peel off, get him, Barr should overtake. If he lags backside, then Ifedi should continue with the D tackle, Barr should peel off and take him. And then there should be a combo here to the backside backer, which would be here. And so if he fills over, Mustapher takes him. If he sags back, Whitehair takes him. And then, you are doing a split zone. So, then you got this extra person here. All right, so scratch what I said. Because now he's on the line. Depends on what they do in the motion. But you got to talk through these things. Because, okay, let's say he stays on the line. We're going to go that way. Then you need to fan block this. That means he has to go 1. Ifedi has to go 1. Bars has to go 1. Then they need to combo to the second level. And then Leno needs to come up to the second level as well. But instead, you had nobody block the edge. You had 2 people block the same person. Nobody blocked this linebacker. And so it puts everybody in a bind. There really wasn't a great cutback. Let me see. There wasn't a great cutback, and they shift at the last second, but you just got to know your rules. Then the backside gets blocked. Actually, nah. It would have been a cutback, but this linebacker went backside. But it was set up for a cutback because Harrison Smith wasn't the technical edge. All right, so did I say third and second down and 3? I thought I said third and 36. All right, 2nd and 3. Run to the perimeter, get a first. So we motion and we run away from the 2 tight end side. We run a stretch there. And this is what I'm talking about. Now this time he races past the D-line penetration and gets to the edge. That's what I was talking about earlier. You should be able to do that. Picks up the first there. This will be the last one. This has been super long. So ace formation. And we ran just a straight up inside zone. Not a lot of yards there. Yeah, I don't know why he cut it back. Meaning, even if he stayed on that block, it's not a lot on the cutback. Just stick with it. But this is the same thing I've been saying. You got to stick with this. Ride this double team. They're going to peel off. That leaves you one-on-one with the safety. But Mr. Cutback himself ends up getting tackled. All right, so that's it for me. This is super long. But yeah, that was the run game. Interesting. I think a lot of interesting things. We definitely added in a good amount of perimeter zones that we don't typically run too often, which I would guess helps complement, again, the play action game. But also on top of that, just doing a lot with the tight ends, a lot with the motions. And again, as I always say, really the only thing those motions and all that stuff does is it tries to test the defense's discipline. And if you got a bad defense, they're typically not disciplined. And I don't think that, for as much as the Vikings are lacking, I don't think that they played terrible. Especially as the second half went on, you saw they were a little better. But Montgomery does a good job after contact. He does a good job in the open field. The line, for the most part, blocked pretty well, and we get movement. So overall, just a good effort. A good effort by the offensive line and everybody. But, I still think there's a couple more steps we could go to really get to where we want to be. And with this line, especially with the zone, it's going to be tough, man. You get any type of beast in the interior, like you name it, AD, DeForest Buckner, it's a lot of guys, Dalvin Tomlinson. Like, you get any type of guys like that, and you go up against that would really wreck this whole zone. And so it's tough. It's tough to be consistently good at it. So, all right. Anyway, that's it for me. Go down to the comment section. Let me know what you think. Share it around. Get the conversation started. Thumbs up, subscribe, and remember, stay up and bear down.